The government of Ghana, with the support of the World Bank and the USAID, presents to you the GCAP Diaries. The diaries showcase the success stories of the Ghana Commercial Agriculture Project being implemented by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
GCAP has come to change the face of farming in Ghana.
We have currently supported 31 grantees on various fronts.
Because of GCAP's intervention, today we have about 60% of the total number of outgrowers that we have being women.
We have learned agronomic practices.
Through the trainings, farmers have been able to increase their yields.
GCAP intervention, the road is fine.
The intervention of GCAP has been lovely and farmers have embraced it.
We want people who know and understand the market and can produce to meet the needs of the market.
Watch GCAP Diaries on this channel every Saturday at 10 a.m.
In recent years, outgrower schemes have spread widely in developing countries as a potentially viable model for coordinating production and ensuring higher quality, safer food, and lower production and marketing costs. UNCTAD 2009 report. Outgrower schemes have also been used in rural development strategies as a tool for 1. Linking small-scale farmers to supply chains. 2. Overcoming factors that constrain smallholder commercialization, such as institutional deficiencies, access to inputs, technology, and credit. And 3. Providing the secure market and fixed prices necessary for sustainable crop intensification. Such arrangements have the potential for securing markets for some crops, particularly those that need processing and may otherwise not be produced. Ghana's current agricultural policy framework and national development plan emphasizes the importance of graduating from a subsistence-based smallholder system to a sector characterized by a stronger market-based orientation, based on a combination of productive smallholders alongside larger commercial enterprises engaged in agricultural production, agro-processing, and other activities along the value chain. To maximize the impact of private investment in agriculture on development, a particular focus is to facilitate smallholder linkages with other commercial businesses through, for instance, contract farming and outgrower schemes. Established in 2011, Akandem Farms has been a key player in outgrower schemes. It has a total of 1,442 outgrowers. Located in Chuchuliga in the Bulsa North District of the Upper East Region, the company mainly cultivates rice, maize, cowpea, soya, and groundnut on 356 acres of land. The company has a total of 1,000 acres of land, of which 346 has been used to cultivate maize and rice.
My objectives of my company is to support outgrowers to have access to land. 2 is to support outgrowers to have access to inputs at the right time. 3 is to support outgrowers to have access to mechanization services. 4 is to train outgrowers in sound agronomic practices and post-harvest losses. Then 5 is to train outgrowers to take farming as a business and to link them to larger markets.
A major challenge which limited the company's capacity to expand its output was their inability to increase its farm size due to lack of resources to develop available lands. This challenge did not allow the outgrowers to make full use of their potential. Outgrowers were farming on small acreages of land, hence low levels of yields. The farm was solely into rain-fed cultivation, and outgrowers were making a 10-kilometer journey to Namonsa, the closest community with potable drinking water. They also lacked good agronomic skills, a situation which had an adverse effect on productivity, as farmers weren't applying fertilizers at the right time nor used the right quantities of fertilizers. Farmers never kept records of their activities. Post-harvest losses were also of great concern to the company. Warehousing facilities were inadequate for the company and its outgrowers. The company had an 80 metric ton warehouse available to over 1,000 outgrowers. In their quest to turn things around, Akandem Farms Limited applied to GCAP for funding to enable it develop 500 acres of its undeveloped land, construct a solar-powered mechanized borehole, train its outgrowers in good agronomic practices, bookkeeping, group formation and dynamics, and construct a 200 metric ton capacity warehouse. This intervention freed resources that enabled the company pursue other activities. Mr. Charles Nonu is the project coordinator of GCAP.
The reason for having this project is to see how we can enhance commercial cultivation. You know, in GCAP terms, when you talk about commercial farming, it's not about the scale of farming, but we look at the fact that it becomes market-oriented. We want people who know and understand the market and can produce to meet the needs of the market. And the project is being implemented broadly in two areas of the country, the Sada zone and then also the Accra Plains. And then the focus is on 4 primary commodity areas. We're looking at soybean, rice, maize, and then we have the horticultural crops.
The government of Ghana, with the support of the World Bank and the USAID, presents to you the GCAP Diaries. The diaries showcase the success stories of the Ghana Commercial Agriculture Project being implemented by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
GCAP has come to change the face of farming in Ghana.
We have currently supported 31 grantees on various fronts.
Because of GCAP's intervention, today we have about 60% of the total number of outgrowers that we have being women.
We have learned agronomic practices.
Through the trainings, farmers have been able to increase their yields.
GCAP intervention, the road is fine.
The intervention of GCAP has been lovely and farmers have embraced it.
We want people who know and understand the market and can produce to meet the needs of the market.
Watch GCAP Diaries on this channel every Saturday at 10 a.m.
After a successful application, Akandem Farms Limited was awarded a grant of $250,000 to remove the main binding constraints to its productivity: land development, warehouse facility, solar-powered borehole, and good agronomic skills. The company provided $52,500 as its matching contribution.
He is one farmer who already is established and farming in that area, and then also was working with outgrowers. And then in addition was also doing rice and maize, which are the crops that GCAP is focused on. Now, the type of support he benefits from is what we call the matching grant. And then the idea of the matching grant is what we call support a farmer who is already proving that he's an established farmer. We help remove some of his binding constraints, challenges that he faces in what he do. And the idea is that when you help him to free resources that he could have invested in what we help him with, he could use those resources to now help more smallholder farmers.
GCAP supported them with funds to develop or construct about 200 metric tons of warehouse. And you know, GCAP project, all our grantees are supposed to comply with our national environmental regulations and also the World Bank safeguards policies. Those constructing the warehouse, by law, they are all supposed to acquire environmental permit from the Environmental Protection Agency. We, as project specialists, we went there with our checklist to ensure that wherever the warehouse is being constructed, they meet certain standards. We are very satisfied with the environmental safeguard they put in place. And because of that too, the Environmental Protection Agency has granted them a permit for such constructions to take place. Akandem also is currently developing about 500 acres of land. That works out to over 200 hectares. GCAP, together with the Plant Protection and Regulatory Services Directorate of Ministry of Food and Agriculture, we have also embarked on a number of trainings for them. One of such training is the use of agrochemicals.
And then we also support them with a solar-powered borehole. The idea is that where his farm is, there is no electricity, but on the farm they need water. So if he has a solar-powered borehole, he could be able to use both for drinking on the farm and also for support in his cropping.
As part of its implementing strategy, Akandem Farms Limited developed 500 acres of land. It previously was farming on 100 acres of land. The process of land development included the clearing of trees, removal of stumps, plowing and bunding of the soil. A 200 metric ton capacity warehouse has been constructed. Outgrowers were also trained in good agronomic practices, chemical usage, health and safety, record keeping and group dynamics. The number of outgrowers has increased from 1,223 to 1,442 as a result of the GCAP support.
GCAP gave me funding for land development, and so far to develop 500 acres of land, and I've developed about 346 acres, and which I have used part of it, and the outgrowers have also used part of it. GCAP again has supported me with funding to construct 240 capacity warehouse, that is 240 tons. Because of that warehouse, I will have enough space to store my produce. Thirdly, the funds I got from GCAP, I've used part of that fund to establish what we call the solar mechanized borehole, which I am going to do dry season farming this year and bringing on board part of the outgrowers to have access to the land and do dry season farming, so we can have all year agriculture farming activities.
GCAP's intervention has increased outgrowers' productivity. There's increased land availability to outgrowers. Farmers are now equipped with good agronomic and farm management skills. They now have the mindset to operate their farm as a business. They now keep records of all activities on the farm. Farmers, through training in group dynamics, now work in groups and cordially among themselves. They now tend to learn from each other. The quality of farmers' grains has improved due to the certified seeds now supplied to them. Solomon Akampisi is the farm manager.
Before GCAP intervention at Akandem Farms Limited, our growers used not even have access to land, especially the females. Most of them were not even farming. With the few men that were farming, we are only having access to half an acre, 2 acres, and that will be averaging their whole farm season for the whole year. And so with the support of GCAP, this year, females, about 58, have access to land on Akandem Farms Limited. And so females are much interested in farming in this particular area, and they are working very assiduously to improve their family life. They were trained on the planting process, they were trained on post-harvest losses, they were trained on weedicide, weed control, using chemicals and all those practices by GCAP support. And so all the outgrowers on Akandem Farms really have training on their farm activities. And so they are working well with the training, and things are really getting best.
Outgrowers give their own testimonies on the benefits of GCAP's interventions to their businesses. They recounted how the interventions have increased productivity and turned their lives around by increasing income.
Before GCAP's intervention, I had only 2 acres of land and my yield was very poor because I lacked proper agronomic skills. But today, I have about 5 to 6 acres of well-prepared lands due to JCAP's intervention through Akandem farms. The training was so practical that after implementing them, our farms have changed. My financial status is better now. I generate enough money to support my children's education and their welfare. Also, I am able to support my wife and other family members to grow their own income-generating activities.
The days of farming on a small piece of land are history. Developed lands abound plentifully. Cecilia Abata is one of the beneficiary outgrowers. She now has the resources and inputs to farm effectively to make a living.
Before GCAP came in, I as a woman could not even have access to land to do any activity, less farming. Today, I am highly respected in the community as a woman because of GCAP's intervention through Akandem farms. Now I have 3 acres of land for rice cultivation and 2 for maize. Now I am able to harvest 15 bags of rice per an acre. After harvest, I don't have the previous challenge with storage because there is a warehouse provided by GCAP. The problem of marketing is in the past. I will just have to tell Akandem farms when I'm ready to sell. I want to say thank you, GCAP.
Also, the effective application of fertilizers and other agronomic skills acquired through the GCAP support has led to reduced cost of production and increase in productivity. This has increased yield and income. Rice yields were 8 to 9 bags per acre before GCAP's intervention. Farmers are recording rice yields of 15 bags per acre after the intervention. Maize yields were 6 to 8 bags per acre before GCAP's intervention, but yields are now between 11 to 15 bags per acre. An increase in yields has had a profound effect on their livelihoods. They are now economically better off.
When I had this land, GCAP through Akandem Farm supported me with tractor services and inputs to prepare the land for farming. I can boast of harvesting 14 to 15 bags per an acre. Previously, the little space I had could only harvest half a bag or just a bag after toiling on the scorching sun. GCAP has changed the story. I harvest enough to support my children's education and welfare. My family is happy now. Through the training I had, I treat farming as a business today. As part of the project, we now have potable water and a well-built warehouse to store our produce. I want to say thank you to GCAP and Akandem Farms for such a wonderful intervention.
Maxwell Akandem reiterates the outcomes of GCAP intervention to his business and outgrowers.
Before GCAP intervention, Akandem farms could just do about 100 acres of maize, 40 acres of rice. But today, Akandem farms has been able to cultivate maize together with its outgrowers, over 300 acres of maize, over 40 acres of rice. And so, because of this, we have scaled up our production levels to about 300%. Again, because of GCAP's intervention, today we have about 60%